Evaluation part 6, and we are going to talk about the feedback we have received from the focus group.
Alright, and the first point was the locations. So I asked the audience mainly what did they think of the locations and if it was quite gritty and, conveyed the working class life. Most of them said that the areas, they were gritty, and the council flats and alleyways connoted the poverty of Britain. And this achieved one of our main purposes because we wanted to really conform to the conventions of the BSR and let the audience see the hardship of Britain, not just the good side. And this could personally identify with our target audience because it's mainly 16 to 24-year-olds, and some of them could have either a hardship life of Britain and have a lot of struggles of poverty and working class, creating a lot of personal identification and making them feel like they're not the only one in the struggle. Or it could either let people know that people who are sitting on their comfortable couches watching the movie, that they have actually a good life and they don't need anything to worry about, and that's mostly it.
Another main question that we asked the audience shortly afterwards whether or not the locations we chose were realistic and believable. Generally, everyone agreed that locations were realistic and it were locations that they would come across just by walking around their local area. We believe it's important that the areas we chose are realistic because we want our audience to be able to personally identify with the locations, because the more the audience personally identifies with the film, the more immersed they will become, and they'll be able to sympathize with the characters more and understand what they're going through.
We have also asked the audience what was their favourite and most important parts they liked from the opening sequence, and most of them said that it was when the main character Tate either found a gun or when he received a text message which caused him to go into a short frenzy. And this is this conforms to the conventions of a British social realism movie, which has violence, corruption of youth, and teenage pregnancy from the Tate's then girlfriend.
And another point we also looked on.
Can you move the camera slightly because it might not get shown in it? Because aim it there in the center of me.
Yeah, that's fine.
You sure?
I stopped off again the calculator.
Okay, and another point was the props. And I mainly asked if the props were typical that you'd see in Britain. And we instantly got a response saying that guns aren't usually sold around Britain and you would rarely see a gun because it's not one of the few things you see in their daily life, which was true. And it also made it more realistic in a way because to show this hidden life of Britain of guns and gangs is what we wanted to show to the audience. And also we asked about the phone, which our target audience is 16 to 24-year-olds, and mainly all 16 and 24-year-olds have phones and text message, which could create a lot of personal identification because of this one prop that our protagonist uses in the first few scenes.
The main prop we had to worry about was our gun/pistol prop because it was difficult to get a fake gun because anyone could have mistaken it, and to make it more realistic we had to paint it in a different colour, but we didn't have access to spray paint, so it wasn't a clean job and it was kind of patchy, which made the gun seem more unrealistic. The gun had patches and paint marks across the side, which made us worry about whether or not it looked believable to the audience. But we decided to try and get around it by showing the good side of the gun, where it looked decent.
We also asked the audience what would they improve, or if they were the makers of our movie, then would they or they change, and most of them said either that they would make the text message of the Tate's girlfriend more clearer because it was quite blurry and wasn't seen for that long, because this is a very bold message, so it adds to the intensity and the depth of the movie. And furthermore, that Tate's girlfriend was only shot at the end of the movie for a split second or so, and they said that we should maybe add in more parts than just that part at the end.
Oh, and another point was the lighting. We asked them if, of course, the lighting was, in a way, realistic enough, because throughout the whole movie, we used natural lighting. And they said that it was good that we used dark lighting to connote the protagonist's hardship life and his poverty, whilst keeping a good amount of personal identification due to its realism. We also asked if we could use any bright lighting, if it would ruin it or if it would make it better. One respondent said that the bright light could create a contradiction between the protagonist and of course the lights, because it wouldn't make any sense if everything was bright and he had a very chaotic life of poverty. So it achieved one of our main purposes with the dark lighting to portray the working class hardship life.
Another problem that the audience said they would change if they were the creators of our media product was that the text message which Tate receives from his girlfriend announcing that she's pregnant isn't really clear, because it was shown too quickly and only half of the message about the pregnancy bit is actually shown. And because it's shown so quickly that the audiences couldn't really read it quick enough for the rest of the narrative to be clear. This was worrying because one of the key foundations of our film wasn't really clear.
And furthermore, I think the audience was a bit confused of how the gun was found conveniently, and we think that they might have thought that the gun is just there naturally, but they asked why and how the gun appeared there, and this we might need to change in the future.
Also, back onto the point about what they would change, the girlfriend scenes, although it was very limited, they also asked if at the start they could see the foundation of the relationship, so the audience would have a better understanding of if the relationship was good, or if that one sudden problem of the theme of teen pregnancy was just sudden. Therefore, this could create a lot of confusion and disorientate the audience while they're watching the film.
One thing which I wished we asked the audience about was the costumes that we had our characters wear. The main character Tate is usually seen in urban setting kind of clothes, tracksuits and a hoodie. We tried to make it seem like he was in the working class with those stereotypical generic kind of clothes. And then there's the Tate's girlfriend who's the only other character shown in the opening, and we don't really have a full body shot of her, which kind of cuts her off on that side.
And we asked the audience, we didn't really get to ask the audience this, but we thought that it would have been better if we asked them about the use of props and if it was sufficient enough in our movie, because the only prop we really used was the phone and the gun and a bottle of, alcohol. And they might have thought the alcohol bottle was a bit too childish and kiddish, and it really looked professional enough to be put in a movie if they were going to watch it.
The audience also said that it was really unclear about whether or not Tate started drinking alcohol before or after that his girlfriend announces she's pregnant. We thought that it would have been clear, but our focus group made it clear that it wasn't, and it would have been a good idea to show that he only started drinking after he received the pregnancy news.
First, we need you to leave our focus group right now. If you disagree, I kill you. If you don't disagree, I kill you.
We're shooting our focus group.
Sorry, guys. Really sorry about this. Hope you forgive me.
Actually, not even because they're doing the focus group. So.
When you're done, we need you. Alright?
I'll come later.
What?
Deadline's tomorrow, fam, please. I'm sorry.
Hey, Timmy.
What, innit? Sorry about that, guys.
It's okay.
Deadline tomorrow, fam, please.
What did he say?
No, Chris is like, deadlines tomorrow, fam, please.
Okay.
We did.
Take 4.
What else do we talk about?
I got it.
I know.
Pause it.
No, don't pause it. Don't pause it.
What else?
Shut it
What
out.
do I'm already out of shit to talk about. bro.
At the end, someone talk about we asked them that if they were going to watch it, would they watch it? Remember?
Yeah, I got it.
You talk about that.
And on another point is the font and styles. And throughout the opening sequence, there's a varied amount of actors' names and only 2 characters in the opening sequence. And I asked them if it filled their knowledge enough about the characters and if they needed more to feel more satisfactory. And they said that the 2 characters were good enough for their taste because they were the main central figures in the movie. They were the main people who caused all the havoc and the dilemma of events that occurred, making it, in my opinion, we could have used a lot more characters to show more relationships, more enemies, rivals that could contribute to the storyline of the whole movie, which is good.
We also asked about the editing of our film. When we have our title pop up, we have a water panel kind of effect to make it seem to have connotations of dreariness, recklessness, and pure solitude. And we asked them if they were able to feel that kind of energy from it, and there was a mixed reaction because some people didn't pay attention to it, and some people did get that kind of energy. But I think what we gained from that is that we have to make our title screen more blatant and obvious.
To add to that, we also included a pitch black background in the credits of the actors and the producers and whatnot, and this allowed the audience to have an assumption that the themes and the convention of the movie was going to be dark and dim and what you normally see in the British social realism movie.
And overall, we asked them if our own movie would just be distributed to cinemas, DVDs, or a Film 4 channel. And one respondent said that they wouldn't really see our movie on the big screen in the cinema due to a lot of anticipated movies that could compete with it that are not BSRs, like Avengers and Hollywood films, which are much more popular among our target audience as well, making this competition quite fierce and hard. So therefore he suggested that we should distribute it on maybe DVDs. But in my opinion, the ideal distributor would probably be on the Film 4 channel due to it hosting most of iconic BSRs like Trainspotting or Kidulthood, usually around the 9 o'clock time when our target audience is awake and ready to watch our movie. And that is mostly it.
Please remember to like and subscribe and comment with your favorite part of the video.
That was 10 minutes, right?